again, no offense to Mr. Green, but he has been there for years and years. He knows how it's done. He knows the land. I've been there for 8 years, and I know that land flowed. I know there's creek on that land because I drive there regularly, and I can see what's happening. So the excuse is that suddenly the land, it's flooding, so they're going to have to spend more money to remediate that. I don't buy it. And because the city is asking more, I don't buy it either. It's not Mr. Green's first development here. He has done plenty. He knows the system, and I'm pretty sure they had plenty of meetings, pre-approval meetings, all that stuff before, so they knew what was coming. So if targets want to come, they can pony up the money, and again, I'm pretty sure they're going to come. If they really want to come, $1.5 million for target it's nothing. It's not even a day of operating profit for them, so I can't vote yes for that. I think it's ridiculous, and we're opening a can of worm, and we're making a precedent who's going to bite the city back at one point.
Councilman Carter.
So just like to offer, so on the flip side, I have had people contact me, and I've talked to people and they are very excited about Target. I personally don't care. I'm gonna always grocery shop and do my shopping at Walmart and oh geez, what's the one now popping up everywhere?
Publix.
Yes, Publix. So personally, those are the places I'm gonna go, and Kroger's because I love their cookies.
Family Dollar, Kroger.
No, that's just
name them all.
Listen, my mama shopped at Walmart, so I always shop at Walmart. Don't care about Target personally, but I do know the people that have contacted me are very excited about Target. Personally, I don't really like that the developer has this ask of us, but I think that this is it's large but small investment as opposed to what type of revenue that could possibly be realized for the city of Gallatin, in addition to the jobs that it could bring for individuals here in the city of Gallatin.
And another thing about that is that Walmart comes, then they're going to be the anchor. Then who knows what's going to be next after them at that same development. I mean, Target. Yeah, Target. So,
And another part of that too is what I don't think some people realize, we're losing revenue to Hendersonville because people go to Target there. And I think we're going to pick up, especially from the north side, people are going to stop there instead of going to Hendersonville.
Oh, yeah.
I was just getting ready to mention, but you can, Holly.
So I want to bring up a couple of things. The resolution that is in your packet this week is a little different than what was in the packet before because council asked for me to put some things in. So I did add in the resolution paragraph 4 and 5 under the whereas clauses that will hopefully put some guardrails to explain if this body chooses to approve this, why you did it. And so anyone else that would come to make the ask of the city, you can point to this and say, this is why we did it. And that is why that's put in there. Secondly, the grant agreement that was placed in the packet, after it was placed in the packet late, actually on Monday, I got an email, and the attorney that's representing the developer did ask that section 4HI of the grant agreement, and that is the restrictions that number 1I be changed, where it says secondhand store whose principal business is selling used merchandise. And I don't think these people necessarily sell used merchandise, but just to clarify, they want to include something that says provided, however, that the foregoing will not prohibit off-price or discount retailers such as TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, Home Goods, etc. Just so that there's no confusion if a off-price or discount retailer wants to come in, that someone can't come in and say that they're prohibited. And so they would like to add that to the grant agreement.
We need to make a motion for this.
We need a motion first on the
What?
resolution.
Oh, motion to pass.
Have a motion and a second by Councilman Fennell. All right, any discussion on the resolution? Is there an amendment?
I'll make that motion to include the language that was sent in to Ms. High McCauley.
And that is to amend the grant agreement for HI to include, provided, however, that the foregoing will not prohibit off-price or discount retailers such as TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, Home Goods, et cetera. That would be the language that would be added.
We have a motion, an amendment. Is there a second on that amendment? Okay, second. Okay. All right, any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, now on to the resolution. Any other discussion on that? Yes. Councilman Javon?
Thank you, Susan. Another one on 4E.
Is it in the grant agreement?
In
Not the
grant.
resolution.
Yeah, in the grant.
Okay.
Page 2, 4E.
Yes,
I think I
yes.
have the right one. So they're talking of the completion of the project, the required completion date. But basically, it's a reasonable effort to achieve. I mean,
That's standard language.
Standard language. I mean, they have to- they
In
have to-
construction contracts, that they have to use commercially reasonable efforts to achieve substantial completion. Substantial completion is a defined term in the agreement.
thank you, ma'am.
Anybody have anything
You'll
else?
see that definition in F for substantial completion.
Anybody have anything else? All right, moving on. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
No.
Okay. 5-2. Okay. 15 has been deferred, or been, I guess, taken off the agenda. That moves us on to other business. Ms. Kittrell, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. TriStar Energy. Is anybody here from the TriStar Energy?
Yes, I have someone here tonight if they'd like to come forward, if you have any questions. This was presented at the last council meeting, and no one was present, but someone is tonight. So it's twice daily at 1845 Nashville Pike, twice daily at 385 Big Station Camp, twice daily located at 1597 Airport Road, and twice daily located at 1101 Long Hollow Pike. This is an application to be able to sell wine in a retail market store, and there are guidelines on that. And they've met all the requirements. They just need confirmation from this body.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? We have 1 abstention, 2 abstentions, so 5 yes and 2 abstentions. Thank you.
I would say the opportunity to say the staff at Twice Daily is awesome.
Thank y'all.
Chief Bandy.
Yes, I've come to you to discuss our LPR program. We're going with a company called Flock. The county's using it, and so is Hendersonville Police Department. TDOT requires us to come get an updated board minutes and an approval from you guys, so I'm seeking your approval for this.
Motion to approve.
Second. That's it.
That it? Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
I will send the actual locations into you. I sent them to you guys, but I'll give it to you, Judge Kittrell, so you'll have, thank you.
And the minutes will suffice for what you need?
I hope so.
Okay.
TDOT.
Any other department heads? Seeing none. Anybody up here have any other business? Councilman Javon?
Thank you. I got contacted because of the Longolo development, how we call that now, the new 66 something, the new apartment complex going on Longolo Pike, on Greenlee and Longolo, where on the other side of where they're going to put the Wawa Argento at 386. And because of dust issue and blasting, I know blasting, we have no control, was totally ridiculous in my mind because people who live on the other side, their home's going to be destroyed. I can feel the blast half a mile away in my home. So when they are on the other side of the street, I had a person contacting me that stuff fell from the wall and scare people. But the main one is dust on all that moving earth when it's dry. Not now, but when that was dry. And driving there, if there is any wind, you're in a cloud of dust. What can we do, or do we have any way to protect the adjacent resident from that dust issue? Is the developer supposed to do something? Can we force them to do something? Because it's not good.
Well, I'd like to piggyback on what Pascal's going to say. If we're going to do it for them, then we need to say something about Rogers Group. I mean, Greg Hollis just had a cantaloupe-sized rock went through his windshield, and they've been complaining about the dust across the street from Rogers Group for a long time.
Yeah, and the blasting is an issue. We had the same Danube property, family owned, my wife family owned, where they blasted and rocks went through the roof on, there was nobody in there, so nobody got hurt, but I know blasting is a state issue, but the dust, it's ours. So what can we do?
Did you check with Nick?
Huh?
Did you check with engineering?
I'm asking.
Okay, that's what you need to do is check with Nick and see if he can do anything. He would be the one.
Yeah, they'll check the sites and make
Yeah.
them, clean them up.
Yeah, get with him and give him the site and all that, and he'll check on it.
But what can we do?
Sometimes they make them wet down dust, sometimes they make the covers happen.
I mean, each situation is going to be different, so he probably needs to look at it and see. So that's why it's good to get with him.
When I get asked a question by a constituent who's probably watching online and asks me to ask a question, I'm going to ask that question.
That's
I
fine.
don't do things behind closed door, okay? I ask a question and I expect an answer.
Well, that's
and
fine.
if he
That's
can't
fine.
give me an answer now,
There is nothing behind closed doors about a councilman
about a-
seeking help from a department head.
Correct. I
That's
don't know where you
certainly a
get that
great
through
way
your
to get
head.
a more expedient answer to your constituent. And sometimes, like I have pointed out so many times, department heads feel put on the spot when you're asking about specific things related to specific developments that they probably could have investigated and given you an answer on.
where there is nothing, I'm giving an example of a site and I'm asking what can we do with dust construction, because right now it's there, but that's going to be on log 4. That's going to be everywhere. So
Everywhere that's ever built.
at least people know if there's something they can do. People know that if we have a solution, they can ask for that solution. And that's why I'm asking a question. So is there something we can do for dust on construction? That should be an easy answer. We
Contact
can or we
engineering
can't.
to have them check the site and see if there's something that can be done to improve the situation.
Each site is going to be different. They're not going to be the same. So he probably needs to go out there and look. I mean, you can ask him right now.
A lot of times dust gets stirred up in the roads and, they have to clean it off the roads. I mean, it's all going to be site specific.
Question was, can we do something or not? That's an easy.
I
do
think
we
probably
have, do
sometimes
we
you
have
can
tools?
and probably sometimes you can't.
Do we have tools in a code who let us do something about it?
I will read the code this week. Well, I won't be here next week, so I won't report to you.
Have you got a suggestion?
How to make dust not happen?
Yeah, my suggestion should be to water everything, but
And you have mud.
you don't get dust.
I've got a suggestion. There's a certain council member here that put on social media that the whole council went to Franklin. I'd like to ask that council member, are you sure of that? You included
Let's hope.
everybody but yourself.
You want to start something?
Let's don't get into
I'm not
that.
trying to
y'all.
start it. I want to know why you put it on social media when I didn't
At
go.
least I don't call to get employees fired.
Huh?
Okay, let's don't, we can handle this later. All right. Any other council person? Councilman Carter, you say you had
Yes, sir,
something?
I have something. Someone with Gallatin Center for someone from the Gallatin Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has extended an invitation for us to attend the 104th birthday party for the resident there, Miss Lucille Sneeds. That will be Thursday, June 12th at 1 p.m. in their dining room. But I'll send an email out to the mayor and council about that.
And we can do a resolution for her too, and
Oh, yay.
sometimes the
Let's do
family
that.
appreciates that.
104, she maybe the oldest one living in Gallatin now?
I do not know.
And I will send you guys a picture of Miss Sneed.
Thank you. Any other council person? Councilman Alexander?
Real quick, thank you, Vice Mayor. You may remember last fall that our Public Utilities Department deployed some resources to Northeast Tennessee. The little town they were in is Mountain City. It's where I used to live. I pastored my first church there. I was just there the end of last month rebuilding homes. There is still well over 100 homes. People have been displaced for over 7 months in that little small community. And so kudos to David. We were connecting last week, finding out we'd been to the same place, and thought that was pretty cool. But I have a contact if anybody wants to send a group, take a group, 2 or 3 people for however many days. They'll lodge you for free. They'll feed you 2 meals a day. They provide the materials. They just need you to get there and the manpower. And so if anybody wants to be a part of helping that community, to continue helping that community out, they can see me and be glad to help them. Yeah. It's as far as you can go in Northeast Tennessee. It's 45 minutes from Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long way.
4.5 hours.
5.5 hour drive. Yeah, it wasn't real bad.
All right. We're
Recognition.
we're at that other point. We're at public recognition on non-agenda related items. Does anybody would like to speak on non-agenda related items?
I'll keep this brief, I promise. I know it's been a long meeting. Just a couple of statements I'd like to make
Can you give us your name,
Oh, I'm
address for the
sorry.
record, please? Thank you.
twice before. Martha Zanger, 151 East Morris Drive. I just wanted to say to Mayor, I know statistics are important and crime may be down, and I was wrong and I misspoke about that. But when the crime is happening like less than a mile away from you, it feels like it's huge. And when gunshots are happening that far, close, the violence feels like it's starting to close in. So that's why I mentioned that.
And I know, that's why I say I know people feel that way when things happen around them, so I appreciate that, but I also don't want to alarm the world when we have a couple of bad incidents, really bad,
Okay,
and
well,
close
so-
to you.
So I
recognize
apologize for that, because
no need.
I know, but you're right, we need to keep this as statistics. The second comment I want to make, and I'm sorry, it is about the agenda, is the Kirkpatrick thing. What I didn't understand is, when you voted to move it forward, is that moving forward for more discussion, or
Second reading.
Second reading will come up. We have public hearing and then second reading.
so it's not voted on as yet, and you're not making any
We passed on
decisions
first
about it
reading.
yet?
We passed it on first reading, and then it went
Okay.
to go to public hearing in a couple weeks and on to second reading.
Okay, because I'm going to just go ahead and email the questions I have, because I didn't get any answers when I stood up here before. I asked a couple of questions and nobody wanted to discuss it. And I'm not trying to put you all on the spot, but they're questions that the people out here need answers for. And I would, so I'll email you all individually, and hopefully we can get some answers as to why you're voting for it or against it and that kind of thing. Thank you.
I'll be brief. Won't take a long time. On the resolution,
We're not discussing the agenda items. This is non-agenda.
non-agenda items.
Right.
Okay, non-agenda items.
Oh, and need name and address too, please.
Yeah, non-agenda items, just want to add a couple comments. Non-agenda items. The use of speed bumps.
Oh, don't forget your name and address for us.
What?
We need your name and address.
Oh, James R. Dale, 135 Lake Point Drive, Gallatin, Tennessee. When I mentioned speed bumps, they do give a 40% reduction in speed. The fatalities at signalized intersections like 109 Southwater in 2022, 42,000 fatalities. When I totaled up the number of trips that's possible on Lock 4 Road in one day, 4,600 trips. Assuming that each person has 2 cars at their residence. Recently, Channel 5 had a special about Sumner County. They're promoting tourism. They want people to come stay at their hotels. Okay. There's approximately 3,800 hotel rooms within the area of Gallatin. What if all of them wanted to go to Lock 4 Park? What if all the residents there wanted to go to Lock 4 Park? You're talking about 7,000 people on Lock 4 Road. If they decide, if your city decides to implement a transportation safety planning board or an advisory committee, I would be more than glad to volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, public recognition is closed.
Motion adjourned.
We have a motion to adjourn, second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.